Hello, hola, buenos dias, good morning, everyone. We are back to this second day. Well, depending on how you're counting, it's the fourth day of the total event of Star West 2022, or the second and final day of the talks, events, and presentations. We're booting the day. We just finished up breakfast. And we have our first guest of the day that is eager and super excited, happy to be here, and ready to give a talk and bring their company and lots of other things that we're going to get into. But first of all, Mustafa, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure to
Glad to
have
be
you
here.
here. It's, yeah, we're so happy to be back in person, right?
Absolutely, yeah. In person is great.
So, amigo Mustafa, you came up to us and you told us that you were very excited about sharing and being here and presenting.
Yes.
But before that, for the people that do not know you,
Okay.
can you share with the audience what's the deal with Mustafa? Who
Absolutely,
are you?
yes,
What you
yeah.
do?
So I think just to give you a quick, review about myself. So I am the CEO of Royal Cyber, and Royal Cyber is a company based out of Chicago. We have been in business for about 17 years. We are about 1,700 people worldwide. Our revenue is about 75 to about $80 million a year. We have around five different locations worldwide. Yeah,
Excellent. So you are busy dealing with all CEO stuff and managing and getting everyone ready to.
that's what I do. Yeah, almost.
We try, right?
Yeah,
It's not an easy endeavor.
yeah.
So, what does the organization do? What?
So I think Royal Cyber basically is a systems, integration company. So we are business partners with, Microsoft, AWS, GCP. We do a lot of work with, the e-commerce, uh, B2B, B2C. We do a lot of work in Salesforce, CRM, Microsoft, and so on and so forth.
Awesome.
Yes.
And all around, I'm guessing quality services, right?
Yes, so I think all of them, like, all this custom, application development requires good QA. So, I mean, we are like, constantly trying to basically make sure that how we can bring proper QA. That's why we, I mean, like, come to these, conferences to learn
Yeah.
what other companies are, currently doing and how we can learn from them.
Yeah, and that's really important, and I think that's a common topic of people coming here to learn what is the best practices, the latest trends, and understand really how to provide this type of services. An interesting question. I'm guessing you hire people, and many of the ones watching us may be interested to collaborating with you. And are you looking for positions? Are you looking for people? What type of roles of people do you use?
Absolutely. So I think in the recently, I mean, like, we are doing a lot of migrations from the, on-prem to the cloud. So we are looking for people who loves to do cloud development, who loves to do DevOps. So if you have those sort of, skills, please reach out to royalcyber.com, and we would love to speak to you about it.
Yeah, give them a call. Be ready, and especially because you're looking for people. You mentioned that you have multiple locations for the organization aside of Chicago. Where
Right.
else are you?
So we are our presence is in uh, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Europe, and so on and so forth.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If anyone here in those locations are interested, give them a call. You know, they're eager and always looking for people. And it's very interesting. Yesterday, we were talking to another friend also in the service providing
Okay.
industry and mentioned the same cloud
Okay.
migration. Everyone is,
Everybody is like doing the same right now.
and
So
it's
that is
funny
good.
because it started to sound like AI and machine learning was like the important thing right now. But it sounds like many are still struggling to move to the
I
cloud,
think
right?
what is going on that all of these new companies, I mean, like, they are built on microservices,
Hmm.
so they can, I mean, do new features, development really fast. But the basically old companies who have a monolithic sort of framework, it is very hard for them to release new features fast. So the I mean the every company, I mean, like, what they're doing is that they are moving their on-prem monolithic solutions to the cloud, and while they are moving that, they are basically changing that to the microservices
Yeah,
architecture.
it's a move that, especially with big enterprise organizations, I've noticed they struggle a lot with that. Right?
Correct. Yes,
It's not
absolutely,
easy. What do you
absolutely.
think that is?
So I think what is going on right now is that once you migrate, I mean, everything to microservices, right? Now the reason to do the migration is so that uh, you can release your code faster. Right now, what is going on that when they have hundreds and 500 microservices, and they are currently deployed. Now, how do you do the QA now? Because I'm currently working in a project where I have a company who has about 400 microservices. They have 15 different teams creating these microservices, and they are located worldwide. So now one team is making changes to the microservices, which, I mean, breaks the other microservice. So how do you you need some sort of a framework to do that QA properly. So in my session, I mean, today I will be mentioning about that how can you use contract testing to do proper microservices. So for those people who are joining virtual, or who are out here, please join my session at 9:45
You're
today.
gonna have a virtual option as well.
I'm not sure, but I mean, it will be. We will try to record it, and then
Oh, then post it,
play. Yeah,
please.
yeah,
Yeah, very
absolutely.
much.
Yeah, yeah.
Will you be recording it?
I will be. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
Everyone, pay attention.
Yeah.
And do you know where are you gonna be posting your
It
talk?
it will be on the YouTube.
You have a YouTube
It will be,
channel.
yes,
How
yes,
can
it is.
people find your YouTube
Yeah, so
channel?
if you go to royalcyber.com in the YouTube, I mean, you will find our channel, and then we will have this session out there.
Excellent. So you stepped ahead on me. I was going to ask you what was your talk. Can you give us a little bit more details on what topics, what things are you going to be going over?
Absolutely, yeah. So I think in this session, I mean, we will be focusing that you cannot do QA for microservices the same way which you do it in monolithic. So there are some new frameworks available. One of the frameworks which we use, which is called PACT,
Hmm.
PACT. So we will be showing that how we are using that framework, and I mean, other people can also use the same.
Hmm.
And then, I mean, and I think we will show the problem, and we will show you how does uh, pact solves uh, that problem. and, and then finally, I mean, we will have a live demo where we will show you how this whole thing works together.
That's awesome. You made me smile big time when you said that it's very different when you move from the monolith to cloud services, microservices, all these new
Yes.
flavors.
Yeah.
Because many organizations are trying to do QA the old ways
Yes.
when what they are testing has completely changed,
Completely
right?
changed. All right.
And first question, because probably many of the people watching us are not so sure, and it took me a while to absorb it because we are all drowned in between APIs, REST services. What is the difference between a average normal service and a microservice? I think in the name it's silly, but
Yeah.
it's
No,
not
no,
as
I think
easy.
that's a very good question. I mean, because so I mean, in the monolithic way, you also have services, right? But if you have 50 service, 100 service, they are all running in the same JVM. So if you make any changes to one service, and I mean that particular service is called by somebody else, then that particular service will not, the Java will tell you that it cannot be compiled because you changed some variable name. But once you move that to, like, separate microservices, so so that code might be, one microservices might be written in Go language, one might be written in Java. So now, if somebody changes something in one microservice and they do not notify the, I mean, other, team, definitely your microservice will break. So I think that is one. That was one a good thing with, I mean, monolithic, that because everything was running under one JVM, it was, basically easy to be detect. But now it is hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it took me a little bit to wrap my head around because services, as you say, you have multiple things in a single box, single entity. That when you need to change anything, everything is turned off,
Yes.
everything dies, and then you need to come back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Everything has to come together so that you can come back to life.
Correct.
An example that I like to give is like a big restaurant, the ones that had a huge menu, or a food court.
Yeah.
If you want a burger in the big
Yes.
restaurant,
Yes.
is your burger service.
Yes.
And if the restaurant has to close for any reason,
Yeah.
you cannot serve burgers, you cannot serve anything else.
Absolutely.
And in the food court, you just close the burger establishment. Everything is still, you can still have food.
Yes.
There are no dependencies, at least on the front end, right?
Yes.
Because probably the microservices in the back end are using the same
Correct.
resources, the same paths, or
Correct.
the same
Correct.
water.
Yes.
But I like your explanation. They are kind of independent. You can turn them off, you can turn them on. You
Absolutely.
have
Yes.
to have different control.
Correct.
And it's a great change of mindset, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
The way how you test them and the way how you have to manage everything around them. And that segues to my next question. What would you say is the greatest change that organizations, QA, teams, everyone has to do to test microservices from the past?
I think if they really want to, I mean, the reason why they are moving from monolithic to like microservices so that they can release faster.
Hmm.
If you don't have, if you don't doing the QA popular, properly, and if you have hundreds of microservices, definitely you cannot release faster.
Hmm.
So if so, I mean, one thing which you have to do is that you have to look up new ways. Contract testing is one of them, but there are many other ways you can, do that. So unless and until you don't go to this new way of QA, you cannot get the final outcome, which is to release faster.
Yeah. Yeah. If everybody watching, if you are still trying to do QA the old ways, as Mustafa says very way, and you're migrating and changing and microservicing, you will still be very slow if you try to do it the old way. Your tests have to be more modular, be made in parallel, more contract testing, more validations at the service and microservice level. You don't have to do those big long sets of steps to test everything, and not always. You can execute faster, easier, and more efficient. Am I right?
Absolutely, you
And
got it. Yeah.
I mean, we're all in the same trade,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I'm really happy that you come to give these explanations. Something that many take for granted, right? Like, yeah, microservices. We already talked about that five conferences ago, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Uh, uh, how much have you been talking about this switch and type of
I think
change?
not so much like previously, but in the past couple of months, because a lot of people are now, like, they want to move to the new development, right? So everybody is now, like, move to microservices, cloud, Docker, containers, and all sort of things. So in the past couple of months, this has become really hot now. But yeah, you're right. Like, if you had asked me the same question in like 2020 or 2021, people might not be too much interested.
It's funny because when you're saying 2020 is not that long ago,
Yeah.
but still people are like, yeah, why I do something different, or
Yeah.
what is the deal? No, it's just the cloud. No, the cloud functions, microservices, change, and as
Yes.
you very well said, probably your application is not in the same box, it's not in the same data center, it's not in the same country. You may have a microservice that serves one thing, it's over there. The other that serves another thing is over there.
Yes.
The other, I don't even know, it's somewhere in a data center in Zurich or
Absolutely, you're
who
right. I
knows.
mean, if I have, we have one, a team which basically does all the microservices for our warehouse management system, and they are not located in the US. Now, if we don't have something like contract, uh, you know, testing, then whenever they will make any changes like to the microservices, it will be really hard for them to let everybody else know that what are the changes they have made, and how that change will affect
Break something else around
yeah,
them.
basically everybody else. So I think this sort of frameworks really helps.
To give you another example, and following the food court and the fast food
Mhm.
thing, you know that in the fast food courts you always get a tray. Every tray is the same shape, the same size. If a restaurant, for a reason, let's say not the burger joint, like the pizza joint that we have at the fast food, decides to use round trays,
Mhm.
everything will become a little bit chaotic because everyone else is expecting a square shaped one,
Correct.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's really important that you keep checking. It's like a contract. Like,
Yes.
we all are going to use square trays. If you change it, we all need to change and things will break,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Absolutely. You're right.
I hope you like the example. So, to not to hold you here too long, I know that you have to get ready and prepare
Thank
for
you.
your talk.
Yes.
For the people watching, again, where can they reach out to you? How can they find out more about microservices, what you are doing, and all the great things
Yes.
that you
Yeah, I think best thing is please go to our website. It is royalcyber.com, and we do a lot of webinars. We have really good uh, blogs there, so you can read those. And if you have any other question, please shoot out and email to me. It is mas@royalcyber.com.
you
Thank you so
get
much.
direct line to the stars at Royal Cyber. And Mustafa, thank you very much. I hope that you get to convince a lot of organizations and help them on this change of practices, that you find a lot of people happy to collaborate with you and to contribute. And thank you very much
Thank you
for
so much
coming up
for the
here,
time. Yeah.
sharing your knowledge, talking to people, and giving hope. Look forward to a great talk.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Stay tuned. We hopefully will have a lot of action here at the interview seats. And Mustafa, thank you. Stay tuned, and we will back soon, anytime.